Things have definitely been interesting and crazy in the Dragon World as of late, especially since Bulma decided to become a Z warrior, having been inspired all those years ago, Yamcha and Goku, all their martial art feats during the Pilaf Saga. Well, now that we're heading towards the Cell Saga, it's time to continue this story. Now, Bulma, who had mysteriously disappeared for the last year and a half or so, had been converted into an android, much like Android 17 and 18 were. The same model type with infinite energy and everything like that. However, other than Bulma going through all that pain going through those kind of procedures, it wasn't for naught. Bulma actually learnt a lot about Dr. Gero, learnt a lot about how his technology works, the type of programming he uses, and of course, learnt all about a certain secret project he had working on downstairs. I'm talking about Cell. So essentially, after Gero, Android Blue, and Android 19 had lost the battle with the Z Warriors, and Gero returned to his lab to wake up 17 and 18 like he does in the original story, and waking up Android Bulma as well, hoping that his programming had worked on her and that she would go against her family and friends, and kill Son Goku, of course. Of course, that was not to be. Bulma never lost track on who she really was, and used the opportunity to put an end to the maniacal doctor right then and there, and destroying both remote controls, setting 17 and 18 free as well, who basically look up to her as basically like an older sister. Whatever older sister Bulma does, they will basically do. So the threat of Android 17 and 18 is basically non-existent here. Could that have been the case if she had been woken up in future Gohan's world, who is our future savior in this timeline? Well, I guess we'll never know now. So, continuing with that story. Now, Bulma has taken Android 16 back to the lab back to Capsule Corp with her, and has begun undoing the programming of Dr. Gero. After all, she's well aware that 16's primary goal was to kill Son Goku. Well, because Bulma is a bit more familiar about how these androids work, and what kind of programming Dr. Gero actually uses, she's more confident in her ability to deprogram him. And because of that, that makes Android 16 a lot more trustworthy than what he is in the original. Essentially, that he's now programmed to be a force for good. However, upon discovering another time machine that's exactly identical to future Gohan's time machine, and Bulma and Android 1718, along with present-day Gohan and future Gohan also investigating, Bulma basically had to take one look at the eggshell to recognize that this is the basically egg form of Cell. And she's basically able to put two and two together. That monster. At some point in the future, he's killed you and has stolen your time machine. That's what's happening here. So I guess I was unsuccessful at stopping that monstrosity after all. Cell is on the loose. And well, meanwhile, Piccolo has showed up to Kami's place, who had been summoned there for some reason, because, well, Kami is seeing the exact same threat unfold, and, you guessed it, it is Kamikolo time. Kami and Piccolo decide to fuse together. Now, because Bulma is well aware on what Cell is and what his programming is, and so is everyone else, they advise 17 and 18 to basically pull away for now. At least until she and Android 16 can basically find the Bugman and stop him. Now, she does know that Cell carries the DNA of pretty much everyone there, of the entire Dragon Team, but there are certain things that she doesn't know either. But after everyone begins sensing the energy of Goku in that direction, which is basically come from Kami, who's battling with Cell right now, like he does in the original, sensing Goku's energy because of Cell's Kamehameha. Well, basically, Bulma is basically flying over there with Android 16 right now. 17, 18, and past Gohan are flying away. Future Gohan, well, decides to chase his mother. After all, Future Gohan hadn't seen his mother for definitely about over a decade since she disappeared. Anywho, meanwhile, the Piccolo and Cell fight goes on per normal, and Piccolo tricks Cell into revealing who he is, what he's doing there, just like he does in the original. Not that he really needed to do that, because Bulma could have easily told him that. And he's like, "What? You're Cell? I thought we destroyed you." But, he's a Cell from a different timeline. And, well, essentially, you basically got the fight ultimately ending the same way. And, basically, this is where Bulma and 16 show up, and Cell sort of recognizing Bulma. So this timeline they actually found you. It's too bad you're not compatible to me, sister. Otherwise I could absorb you and achieve my perfect form. And this one, I don't know this one at all. Referring to Android 16, and well, this is where basically Future Gohan shows up, Krillin shows up. It's not looking good for Cell. He can't hope to beat all of them if they gang up on him. So, much like in the original, he uses his solar flare and backs away. And, well, he, basically disappears for the time being, and they're basically having quite a bit of trouble finding him because he's purposely keeping his power level to 0 and basically moving from town to town and absorbing people like he does in the original. Now, meanwhile, Goku finally awakens from his, sleep after the whole heart virus thing, and he was relocated to Master Roshi's just in case the androids look for him here, and finally apparently Goku knew everything that was going on anyway, so they didn't really need to fill him in on anything. But much like Vegeta says in the original about Saiyans ascending greater than the ability of the Super Saiyan, yes, Vegeta still went on that rant, especially after the whole Cell running off and Vegeta showing up there and demanding answers. Anyway, so basically, Goku's like, you know what? I think I know how we can deal with this Cell problem. Well, Gohan, how about you come with me? Raditz, come on. Basically, with instant transmission, they go to get Vegeta as well, and basically they're going to do their whole training in the Room of Spirit and Time, much like they do in the original. However, Vegeta basically takes the room for himself, while basically it'll be Goku and Raditz going into the chamber next, because, future Gohan sort of wanted to train with his past self, and how often do you get to train with an older, cooler version of yourself? I mean, come on. No, I don't think anyone would pass up that opportunity. And I think that works. Meanwhile, Bulma, Kami, and everyone else are pretty much searching for Cell, who's pretty much since just been drinking more and more people and eventually becoming even stronger. And Cell just basically decides, that ought to be enough humans for now. And Cell begins powering up, purposely signaling the Dragon Team to come find him. Why is he doing that? Oh, well, Cell has a plan here. He's up to something. And, well, basically, with the warriors that are there, which is pretty much Android 16, Piccolo, Android Bulma, but we'll just call it Bulma here. Android Bulma's too long to say. But yeah, Bulma, Krillin, Tien, Yamcha have basically surrounded Cell, and they are battling with him. And Cell is actually, has gotten quite a bit stronger since the last time they encountered him. After all, from him drinking all that life energy from people has made him, significantly more powerful. However, it becomes apparent that once 16 and Bulma start working together to take down Cell, it's not going so well. I can sense a little bit of Son Goku in you. I guess I could be content with that. And well, as Android 16 prepares his big, nasty, dangerous finisher, we all know what that one is. When all his arm and cannons shoot off, and he's just got nothing but all these cannons firing really hard in the Cell, which is damaging him enough that Bulma basically powers in with a full power Kamehameha, and Cell's going, "You haven't won. You've only assured my victory. I am the perfect being. Ha 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 ha." He blows up and is essentially vaporized. There seems to be no trace left of Cell, at least as far as the eye could see. And well, they all basically fly off and fly away back to Capsule Corp, with Cell essentially being defeated. Vegeta has since come out after his day of training and was ready to take on this Cell creature, only to find that it looks like Bulma may have done the job already. And still, the others still go in there to get their day in there. Otherwise, they can't let Vegeta, get that far ahead of them in power. And, they're already there, they may as well use the time. So, it is Goku and Raditz who go in there next. And, well, basically, what you got from there is, when everyone else returns to Capsule Corp with Android 17 and 18 greeting them, suddenly 16 sensors go off. Where is he? Cell is somewhere around here. He is still alive. And suddenly, the this little speck that was on Bulma's clothing basically gets bigger and just completely consumes both Android 17 and 18 right then and there. And the power-up is tremendous. Vegeta can sense it all the way from Kami's lookout. What is this monstrosity? Is this really Cell? And basically, after all the smoke and all that clears, there is Cell standing there in his perfect form. You got careless, Bulma. Come on, I thought Dr. Giro would have increased your intelligence by a little bit more. What? How did you survive? 16 and I vaporized you. Well, it's all to do with right here, making that gesture he does. A single cell of me survived, and it was enough for me to regenerate. The look on your faces right now. And, well, basically, Cell is basically thinking of just wiping out everyone and destroying them, and after a brief battle he pretty much has everyone there on their knees, 16 being badly damaged, Bulma in bad help, one of the side buildings of Capsule Corp destroyed. Yeah, no one's really looking all that good, but before Cell was basically thinking of doing a freezer and wiping out the planet, suddenly he senses something. These higher power levels. That would be, of course, Vegeta, who had emerged from the Room of Spirit and Time. Cell could recognize that this was the power level of Vegeta. Wow, it seems the prince has a little surprise for us. Very well, this might be interesting. Let's say I give you humans a bit of a sporting chance, as it were, by having you all participate in the glorious Cell games. And well, basically, essentially from there, Cell flies off, telling them to keep an eye on the television broadcast, much like he does in the original. And, well, yeah. And so, after that, Goku and Raditz have their time in there, and they're coming out with already in their Super Saiyan forms. And, well, Goku looks to both versions of his son and basically tells them, you know, once the current one becomes a Super Saiyan, make sure he keeps his Super Saiyan form like I do. Trust me, it'll only benefit you boys. And well, Gohan's not likely to turn down advice from his father, even the future one. So, they're now having their turn, and meanwhile everyone is gathered at Capsule Corp and has heard about the Cell games, which pretty much are announced in the same manner as in the original show. And well, after Gohan and Trunks indeed have their time in the Room of Spirit and Time, both of them come out, their Super Saiyan hairs going, and basically Goku realizing with Kami gone, they're going to need a new Guardian of the Earth, so he goes off to Planet Namek to bring Dende back, have him restore the Dragon and the Dragon Balls, and go and collect them, in case they need to undo any damage that Cell does in the meantime. And from there, basically, the 10 days come and go, and we're now basically the beginning of the Cell games. And I think this is where we're going to hold off for right now. So what do you guys think? Do you enjoy this story? Enjoy this part? I thought it was quite entertaining and interesting how we had Cell reach his perfect form in this timeline. Even goes to show, even with Bulma, of all her intelligence, all that know-how of Dr. Gero, she still wasn't able to stop this. However, she did give it the old college try, didn't she? So round of applause for Bulma, round of applause. And as always, yep, don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys again next time as we continue this marathon What If. Alright, catch you later.